Yes, it's Thursday. It's the Bitcoin Otter Show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're live, man, we got a good one for you. We got some things that wrenches are just thrown. It's kind of like that movie Dodgeball, right? So you expect this dodgeball, and you're ready for this big red rubber ball, and then there comes a wrench, right between the eyes. Anyway, we got some stuff for you tonight. Good stuff, and hopefully we'll have the usual suspects out there. You guys are great. We're going to have some sort of, participation that you guys can, throw your 2 cents in there, because I do value your 2 cents. And nowadays, even though 2 cents isn't worth much, well, you guys are. So that's the way I look at it. So I'm just getting into the feed right now. Got myself with the old man shirt. Hey, anyone under 50, don't try to wear a shirt like this. It's not going to work. You'll kind of like, you'll look like you're going retro or something, unless you want that look. But man, just wait till you're 50 and then you can rock on, because these there's some really great shirts you can wear, but don't try it until you're older. Kind of like running with scissors. Once you learn how to do it, it's much easier. Okay, doesn't look like we have anybody on yet, but that is fine. So we're going to go right into the barometer, as it were, of our economy. Bidenomics is full force, ladies and gentlemen. It's hitting you like a Scirocco out of the desert. It is not fun. It is not good. And every time you go to the gas station or the grocery store, you get a face full of it. Yeah. It's an experience. How do we know this? Well, we know this because gold is at $2,343 an ounce. Wowzers. Yeah. It is an all-time, well, we're in all-time highs. If that's not the exact all-time high, well, we're pretty darn close. Silver, which, in my opinion is a better buy, is at $27.65 an ounce. So to me, and you won't get it for that cheap, right? Because the market knows that it's definitely not that cheap, definitely not at that value. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay probably $6 to $8 above that for your average coin. If you want a premium coin like a Silver Eagle, the U.S. Official Silver Eagle says $1 on there, but it's worth a lot more, right? Why? Because it's made of real money, not Federal Reserve notes. Yes. So silver's a good buy. Now, here's my favorite. Not telling anybody that you got to get into this, but you might want to. Bitcoin is at 64,870. Prep for the show about 2-3 hours ago. So your average mortgage rate, if you don't have to, don't buy a house. I'm not a financial advisor. I never have been. I rarely wear a tie, so I really don't have any qualifications to tell you to buy or not to buy pretty much anything. But I can say that as an American, and what I know of what happened to our government in 2020, I know that you don't want to buy a house right now unless you absolutely have to. Why? Because the usual suspects in the Federal Reserve have cranked up the rate to 7.23. 30-year fixed average, 7.23% of your hard-earned cash is going to go straight to the bankers, and they'll not give it back. Then you might want to be a 15-year rate guy. Well, or gal, 6.7% for a 15-year mortgage. It's not good. It's not a happy situation. But hey, Bidenomics are cranking on, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna rock on no matter what. We're going through. We're gonna punch through this. I know it to use a very technical term, it sucks. But the fact of the matter is, we're gonna get out of this. This is not going to be forever. This is not going to be, something that we're going to have to deal with for much longer, in my opinion, right? I mean, everybody knows that elections can be, let's say, meddled with. It happens. It happens. We know it happens. But the fact of the matter is, I do believe that things are going to get so ugly between now and election time that only people who are on that resuscitation machine thing if they don't happen and they don't happen to wake up until like the day before, they might vote for the geriatric Joe Biden. But other than that, I don't see anybody with 4 brain cells, 2 of which would be used for maybe bathroom activities, and the other 2 would, I don't even think they would vote personally for the geriatric guy. But, hey, who am I? Who am I? I certainly don't tell anyone what to vote for, and I certainly can't underestimate, I guess, the craziness of some people nowadays. It's just the way it is. I mean, you got men telling each other that they can have babies. What are you going to do, guys? What are you going to do? Not babies. That's what you're not going to do. But you can talk about it all day long if you want. So, what do we got going on in the crypto world? I'll tell you what we got going on. We have BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF snapping a 71-day inflow streak, meaning people are not throwing money at BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF in this 72nd day as they were in the first 71. So basically, it's slowing down a little bit. So what they're contending is that whatever went into this Bitcoin ETF was fueling this early, how would you say, the early bull market, which if you're not well acquainted with the cryptocurrency markets, for whatever reason, they go on a bull bear, some even would say crypto winter cycle. And I would imagine it's based on the halving of the Bitcoin, which happened a few days ago, by the way, to no fanfare whatsoever. So the award that miners will get for mining Bitcoin has been halved, and the world's still here. Kind of like what was that? The Y2K scare. Nothing really happened afterwards. We're still here 24 years later. Wow. Anyway, so this ETF, this BlackRock ETF, it was getting investors for 71 days in a row, which was, I guess, some sort of ETF record. But it's not happening anymore because, well, things are kind of leveling out. Now you have, I guess, sanity coming back into the scene. So we'll see what happens. Bitcoin's still going up, still going down. It's still going to be Bitcoin. So it's not going to be something, I don't think, that's going to be a big deal. But we'll just have to see how the market reacts. The Bitcoin is going to do what it's going to do regardless. So that was on CoinDesk. Bitcoin.com, we see that there were these people that designed this crypto wallet called Samurai Wallet. Now, I don't know a lot about it other than what I was reading in this article, but apparently it allowed you to swap internally cryptos, and I don't know if it somehow obscured the tracking mechanism. I don't know if it was something something that the usual suspects did not like. Okay, so they claim that whoever designed this wallet was in some way, there were 2 of them, I guess, they were in some way laundering money. Now, we of course don't see anyone who's laundering money out of Ukraine. They're not seeing any attention. But these people here that tried to make some sort of privacy out of crypto transactions, because if you don't know, and we've mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again, crypto transactions are transparent. So you're not anonymous. Your name is, but your wallet can always be tracked. So if you make a transaction, let's say you buy Bitcoin, when you buy that Bitcoin, that wallet address it's marked, it's recorded in some way. So then on the Explorer, you can see that wallet received so much Bitcoin or ETH or whatever it is that you were buying. And from then on, you can then follow that address. So and then some days, in some ways, you can actually find the owner of said wallet. And then they know, what's in that wallet. So it's not completely anonymous the way we were always told to believe. So what happened with these people is in that wallet, it was making it so that you couldn't tell where the crypto was coming and going from based on wallets, or based on addresses. So I guess the usual suspects, they didn't like that at all. They don't like not knowing everything that's going on. So it's just what happened. So hey, I want to let you guys know I can't see comments right now. I'm going to check in on the phone here real quick, because I don't want to miss your comments. This is for me. I mean, that's the most fun, is to interact with everybody. So let's find out if I'm missing something here and what it is that we're not catching here. What is it that we're not catching? Is there anything that I'm not catching? There we go. So that was no, that was last week's. So I guess I can't get them both on, because right now I'm on the I'm getting I saw something. I saw somebody was up there. So I don't see any comments though. So we'll see. Hey, Mark, we got I want to just throw a shout out to Mark here. This guy's a champ. We came in, and I think I've told you before, Joe is not only a radio station owner, he's a college professor. He's a professional in many different disciplines. So he wasn't able to come in tonight. So Mark, one of the interns, one of his students in the class there at UTRGV, he's here helping out. He's doing an awesome job. So Mark, thank you very much. Now, what I'm not seeing are the comments. I don't know, Mark, are you seeing them over there in the Restream feed?
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Okay, so I guess either everybody's busy right now, or maybe they're not commenting. That could be it. Maybe this news is enrapturing so effectively that people just they can't even comment. Now, let me go into the news here. This is from Zero Hedge. Divide and conquer the government's propaganda of fear and fake news. So Zero Hedge went into this article, and it said basically that what's going on in our world, clown world, many of us call it clown world, right? So what's going on in this world is that there are hierarchies of so-called authority, right? So you can have an authority that may or may not be official, yet it's able to weigh in on the public perception of reality. So basically what they're doing is the divide and conquer strategy will divide you and me. How will they do that? Well, if we are different religions, let's say one of us has more money than the other. Let's say our skin tone doesn't match. Let's say we live in different places. Let's say we believe in a different God. Whatever they're going to find, whatever they're going to observe, they're going to exploit. So these people, and you've heard me call them the parasite class, right? That's what they are. They are parasites. They're a wart on the, I won't get anatomically correct, but the backside of America, the backside of the world. They're a wart there, and they fester, and they basically want you and me to hate each other. Why? Because they're doing bad things to us. They're doing bad things to society. They're doing bad things to the world. They hate us, is basically what I'm getting at. So what they want to do is divide us so that when they are doing these things, these hateful things and these horrible things and these lethal things, then you and I won't come together and say, hey, you know what? I think I know who's doing this, and we point the finger at them. No. What they want us to do is they want us to point the finger at each other. So we'll be too busy fighting each other to actually blame the real culprits, the real, group of usual suspects, the ones that I blame. And there's a lot of truth. And we'll go into a very easy to understand analogy with wars. So there's a lot of truth in the adage, and I didn't make it up, but I sure do love it. All wars are bankers' wars. Why? Because they make money on both sides. They sell the bullets and they sell the Band-Aids for each side. That they just love it. They love war, and nothing is as profitable to them as war is. So I know it sounds bleak. I know it does. But also, if you've watched before, then you'll know that I do believe the good guys are in control. Patriots are in control. My opinion, I've got a lot to back that up. If you're wondering why, if you want a little sliver of hope, or if you want to just examine something as to, hey, why do these yahoos like me have so much hope in our future, give me an email, throw me an email at bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Okay. So right now, we're coming at you live from the McAllen Creative Incubator on 97.7 FM, KCY, the city out of McAllen, Texas. We're also going out on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook, both mine and 97.7's Facebook and YouTube. We're also going out on TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. So these are the things that the usual suspects do. So here in Zero Hedge, they're talking about how it's not always easily discernible what their strategy is. So they will, they'll, from the article, right? We'll never manage to present a unified front against tyranny or government corruption and ineptitude in any form if this continues. So what they're saying is we have to overcome this. How do we're doing it right now? One of the reasons why I do this show is because I want to unite us. As our enemy divides, I would like to help in some way. God says that he loves peacemakers. I want to be about peace. I want to be about us getting together instead of rending apart, ripping apart, shredding the bonds that are naturally between people. Why? Because we want to celebrate something called diversity. What? Wait a minute. So let's celebrate why we're different instead of celebrating why we are alike. That is a recipe for disaster, and it's been going on a long time. So I think it's time to revisit this whole diversity thing. You know, we're different. Of course we're different. God makes us different, but we're the same inside. We all have a heart. We all bleed red. It's just the way it is. Now, if you want to pretend you're so far different that you can't get along with me, well, then that's on you. But I'm here and willing to get along with just about anybody, except for terrorists and child criminals, crimes against children and all that. And we're going to get into that in a little bit too. So let's see. Got anything there? Nope. Got anything there? Nope. Nothing yet. I don't know if it's the feed or what, but that's okay. So Fauci to testify, and this again from Zero Hedge. Fauci to testify in public hearing on COVID-19 response and origins. So that criminal is coming to a public hearing, again, maybe not near you, but in your living room if you put it on the TV. So Dr. Anthony Fauci is locked in to testify before the select subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic, that's my word, on June 3. So we're going to find out sooner or later. We're going to find out, ladies and gents, we're going to find out what the crimes, well, we know what the crimes were, but we're going to find out how it is they so easily beat us up with these crimes. I mean, how many people died from a very minor virus? How many people are dying from the so-called official treatment? And we know what the word for that is, but I can't say it on Facebook or YouTube because, you know, our video will be blocked because they don't want us to know the truth. You make up the reason. I know the reason. You know the real reason. But the fact of the matter is they don't want us to know that poison is being purveyed to you and your children. Now, there's a guy out there. His name is Wenstrup. And he says that among other revelations, Dr. Fauci has said the 6 feet apart social distancing guidance. Have you guys been in a convenience store, a bank, or any business, and you still see those stickers on the floor where you gotta stay 6 feet apart? It's all made up. It's all made up. Puro pedo. So Dr. Fauci has said that all that guidance, all those recommendations, used to shut down small businesses, et cetera, et cetera. It sort of just appeared, he said. Sort of just appeared, he said. Fauci, the arch criminal, said that these things sort of just appeared. Does that sound scientific to you? It sort of just appeared. I've got a great recommendation. Stay 6 feet apart. Why, Fauci? It appeared. I don't know where it came from, but it appeared. These people are sick and they need to go. Jail is where they need to go. So, remember, I think it was last week, we reported that there was a guy in, I think it was Italy, getting hemmed up. Yeah. Italy's pusher of the what I would call the bioweapon that goes into people's arms. That thing was pushed by a guy in Italy, and that guy is on the road to the Huskow. They're going to put him in jail. In fact, the guy can't even walk down the street in Italy. They throw tomatoes at him and stuff. So, I mean, I hope they're still making sauce over there. But at least there is someone somewhere waking up to this madness and bringing people to justice. So apparently Fauci is going to get some more time in front of a microphone for the show, the grand show. But what I think is happening, ladies and gentlemen, is that slowly but surely there is an exposure of the truth. People and actions are being exposed for what they are. So Fauci, the criminal that he is being exposed. The actions that he took to hurt you, to hurt your family, to hurt me, to hurt our economy, our country, our world. Okay? These actions are being exposed. They are criminal, they were criminal, and they will stay criminal. Because tyranny won during the pandemic. We cannot let it happen again. So, time hack. We're almost at the halfway point. So I'll remind you that we're on 97.7 FM, KCYP, the city. We're going out also on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook. But I also want to mention something that I'm hoping that we will have next week, a special guest. And I've said this before, and I've been into contact with a couple people that want to bring up a very important issue. And this important issue is child trafficking. Okay? Very sensitive subject, I know. I have made it a passion of mine to expose any evildoers in any realm of child trafficking, abuse in any way. Okay, so yeah, we can go further in that, but what I really want to say is that if we have the opportunity to expose these evil deeds, if we call ourselves even semi-good, we need to do it. So in that vein, in that attitude, using that logic, the people that I was talking about have gotten back in touch with me. So a man by the name of Mike Pack, who did produce, he was a Hollywood guy that escaped Hollywood, and his handle on Twitter /X is the Hollywood Reporter, because, well, yeah, it's Hollywood, man. It really sucks, and it took him a while to figure it out, but he did figure it out, and he escaped. He fled the Hollywood scene, but now with all the knowledge that he has of what it really is all about, so he's still got all that. Well, somehow, some way, and I guess that could be for a different show, but somehow, some way, he hooked up with a remarkable woman named Megan Walsh. Okay, who is Megan Walsh? Well, Megan Walsh is the daughter of John Walsh. Who is John Walsh? John Walsh is the father of Adam Walsh, the little boy. And if you're in your 20s or 30s, you're probably not going to get this one. But there was a time, and I want to say I don't know if it was the 80s or the 90s, and she can correct me on this. And it was probably the seminal event in her life. But little Adam Walsh was abducted at I believe the age of 5 and murdered. So John Walsh, it was very public. In fact, Megan Walsh's profile photo on X is her in the arms of Ronald Reagan. So it was a high-profile crime, a high-profile case. We all we felt it, and we were horrified by the events. So for God's reasons, he had brought me into contact with Mike Pack. Mike Pack is working with Megan Walsh to expose child trafficking in our country, in our world, really. Now, she is intimately aware of how child trafficking is executed here in the U.S. because she believes, and there is evidence, and I'm going to give her all the time she needs to extrapolate on that and explain all that a similar event of some sort has happened with her own children. So I'm not going to get into it. I just want to let you know that it's looking good for a show next week. So next week, I would have the honor, Lord willing, we will have the honor of talking to Megan Walsh. It's a very sensitive subject. It's something that no one really wants to talk about, but we have to. Why? Because our children could be next. And anyone's child is worth talking about when it comes to this kind of abuse, this kind of horrible, predatory activity. And as most of us are here in the Valley, most of us are on the border, most of us are on the front line, we know how prevalent child trafficking is on the border. We could be talking about the cartels. We could be talking about the usual suspects in governments. We could be talking about all of them and more. But the fact of the matter is, it happens, and it happens way too much. So what Megan is going to help us do is understand how it happens. What are the agencies within our own government that facilitate this stuff, who they are, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. Lord willing, we will get the exposure that really gets the attention of the American people, more so than their damnable televisions. This is a subject, excuse me, worthy of all attention. Okay, ladies and gents, this subject is worthy of all attention. Anyone's attention on this subject might just help save a child. And that's our hope. So, Lord willing, we will have Megan Walsh on the show next week, 6 p.m. Central, the Bitcoin Otter Show, right here on 97.7 FM, KCYP The City, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, hopefully they won't try to interfere with us, Facebook and YouTube. That remains to be seen, but this information, ladies and gents, needs to get out. Okay, so I made that announcement. Here's an announcement that might interest you. Harvey Weinstein conviction overturned on appeal. Whoa, man, the Weinsteiner had his case that he was supposed to serve 23 years in prison, but oops, someone made a technical error. So all the women he abused, all the nasty, creepy things that he did to underage women, to women, as a group, that may never see justice because the New York Times, the New York Slimes, has said that an appeals court has overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 conviction on felony sex crime charges for which he was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Now, is it a coincidence that this was a 2020 show trial during an election cycle? And, we're here in 2024 and it's popping back up? I don't think so. I don't think it is, and I don't think you do. That said, if it's not a lie, New York Times are very good at lies. If it's not a lie, then, this will be interesting. So, citing that decision and others it identified as errors, the appeals court determined that Mr. Weinstein, who, as a movie producer, had been one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, had not received a fair trial. I wonder who else is not receiving a fair trial nowadays. I wonder what names Trump might be out there, Donald Trump, that would maybe indicate that, hey, fair trials are hard to come by nowadays. I don't know. So there's just a bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to go too far into that article, but a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo, if you will, baloney, and we don't abide by baloney here, so we're not gonna deal with that. So, you know what I'm beginning to think now that I'm looking at the screen and not seeing any comments or anything. I'm thinking we are algorithmically challenged. What's up, Mark?
Oh, well, Tammy earlier said hi.
Oh, Tammy said hi. Okay. Hey, Tammy, I'm just not getting them then.
And then Matthew said, we are different. You're a Sabre fan, and I'm a Capital fan.
Thank you, Mark.
And
awesome.
Shout out to Luis, who's watching from YouTube.
Luis, good. Thanks, Mark. I'm not getting them, so Mark is getting them. Thanks. Solid work, Mark. So, Matt, I know you're a Capitals fan. I don't know if they're going to make it this year. And as a Buffalo Sabres hockey fan, I know what it is to be bad. Yes, I do. And as a Buffalo Bills fan, also a Buffalo sports fan in general, I know what it is to lose. In fact, I know no major league championships of any kind. But we still hang on. And we go through burning tables in the parking lot of the football stadium. That's us, Bills Mafia. I'm repping them. So, thank you for participating. So I guess it's just my feed right here that I'm not getting the comments on. That is good. That's good to know. Thank you again, Mark. So the Gateway Pundit says this, that Virginia County repeatedly released an illegal alien. Oh, surprise, surprise. Wait a minute. This was not just any illegal alien. This guy was charged with sex crimes against a child. And what did Virginia County do? What did this Virginia County do repeatedly? They ignored ICE detainer requests. Wow. For those of you not in the know, if there's an illegal alien out there that has some sort of crime and that person's flagged and not in the custody of the government, ICE, immigration, customs enforcement, they will put a detainer request. What does that mean? If that piece of flotsam and jetsam, if that person is arrested for DUI, if that person gets a ticket of some sort that brings them into contact with a police department or something, and they're actually detained, then ICE, in their databases, it will flag a detainer request. So that means ICE is wanting this person. It's like a warrant, right? Pretty much a warrant. So ICE wants this person for this, that, or the other, and they're going to deport them. Now, if you are in a sanctuary city, oh, how blessed are they, huh? Blessed by our enemy, that's for sure. So if you are in a sanctuary city, you can rest assured that the person with sex crimes against children and otherwise will be let go into your society, maybe even into your house. And you can't do a thing about it because these people were installed. They were installed as your mayor. They were installed as your city council. They were installed in wherever they were installed. But I would like to think a little bit higher of humanity to think that these kind of people can't continuously be voted in. Can they really? Can someone really vote in someone that's going to release child sex offenders again and again? I would hope not, but there's at least one political party that would tell me that maybe it is the case. I'm not sure. So this Virginia County repeatedly released this illegal alien, and the unnamed 30-year-old Honduran national was arrested in Bladensburg, Maryland on April 15th after being released by Fairfax County twice. The Honduran non-citizen stands accused of some very serious crimes and represented a threat to the children of the Washington, D.C. area, an ICE representative said in a press release. Fox News reports Fairfax County Police arrested the man again in February and charged him with 2 additional counts of felony carnal knowledge with a child aged 13 to 14 years old. And 2 counts of a felony indecent liberties with a child less than 15 years of age. Ladies and gentlemen, this is sick. This is sad. This is inexcusable. So with these types of people running around, and not only are these types of people running around, they're being invited into our country daily. On the daily, ladies and gentlemen, there are non-government organizations, NGOs. There are incredible amounts of people spending your money to bring in these predators so that your children and my children will be unsafe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do what we do. We have to expose these things because sooner or later, I hope, I really do hope that there's enough good people out there that there will be an exposure level that hits critical mass so that enough of us will be aware of this evil that we will shine such a bright light on it that all those scumbags are just going to shrivel up and face justice once we mete out said justice. And that justice should not be light in any way. We must remember what they've done to children, our most vulnerable group of people. Children. We cannot let this stand. Okay, shifting gears a little bit here. Texas state troopers lay down the law, forcefully disperse pro-Hamas protesters at University of Texas at Austin, UT Austin. Now, I want to clarify something. This is the Gateway Pundit. Yeah, they're far right and everything and whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to name them. They are very bombastic in their titles sometimes. They are, and I want to let you know this, I'm beginning to think that the Gateway Pundit is Israel first. What do I mean by that? I mean that to people like the authors at the Gateway Pundit, there's a country out there, unlike any other country, that is exempt from any type of examination on their morality, on their policy, on their actions. And that country is called Israel. And people who are Israel first will never, ever say anything untoward that nation, Israel. Okay, now, Israel, as everyone knows, I am a born-again, evangelical Christian that believes that the Bible has no mistakes. I know this. These are my beliefs, strongly held. Now, was the Israel of the Bible the favorite nation of God himself? Yes. Were the Israelites a favored people? Absolutely. Undeniable. Does the Bible tell us to keep Israel in our hearts, to keep praying for Israel? Yes. But I'm here to tell you, and if you want more information, I can definitely provide it. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. I can definitely provide you a ladder, a safety rope down into this rabbit hole. But I want to tell you, and I am here to tell you, that Israel first is a bad policy. The United States of America is the greatest country on this earth right now. I'm here to tell you that, and I stick by it. So, the Gateway Pundit says that these protesters at UT Austin are pro-Hamas. That may be true. I don't go there, never been there, don't want to go there. A university campus is like one of those last places I want to be personally. But that's me. I'm not saying I'll, break out in hives or anything, but there's that possibility. But what I'm trying to get at is that the Gateway Pundit, okay, is telling us that there are pro-Hamas protesters all over the country. Now, there are protesters out there. From what I've seen, many of them are not so much pro-Hamas as they are anti-genocide, because there are some people who believe that killing children, killing women, killing innocents, missiling, bombing, blowing up hospitals in massive amounts that adds up to hundreds of thousands of people is genocide. Yeah. So if you have demonstrably greater firepower than your enemy, if you have pummeled your enemy into submission for multiple months, if you have responded 100-fold against your enemy, can you really convince anyone that you're oppressed? Well, I'll tell you what, it seems that Israel can. They are very, very good at it, and they have convinced much of the world that they are under an oppression. Is Hamas evil? Absolutely. Should they die for their crimes? I'll tell you what, man, I would put them up for whatever court, whatever tribunal, whatever there is. Are you talking capital offense? Hell yes. I would definitely vote 4 times if I was a Democrat, but I would vote 4 times, 100 times, 400 times for the death penalty for Hamas. They need to go. Same with ISIS. Same with, we'll go all the way back, Mujahideen, right? created by you know who? The three-letter agencies of this very nation. So I hate Hamas as well as I hate ISIS or whatever other, organization, terrorist you want to talk about. However, I love little are awesome. In fact, I want to I've just, for clarity, I've got 5 children, 3 grandkids. Kids are awesome. Okay. They need to be protected. They need to be safeguarded. Okay. Let me go where I'm really coming from here. This is Jesus Christ speaking himself. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I say to you that their angels in heaven continually see the face of my Father who is in heaven. That is the king. You might think there is no king. Well, this is not just the king. He is the King of kings. Okay? And he's telling us don't mess with his little kids because Jesus loves his little ones. And the angels that he has assigned to watch after them see the face of God himself, the Father in heaven. So if we think that we hate Hamas, imagine the creator of the little kids that Hamas killed. Okay, now extrapolate. I'm not trying to do mental gymnastics here, but let's take the other side of this war. Do you think God appreciates the fact that little Semitic Palestinian children are being killed? Do you think he enjoys that? No. Now, some of you who have read the Bible and don't believe in it or have no comprehensive idea of why God would do certain things that he does, you're going to say, you know what, Otter? In the Old Testament, whole villages were ordered by God to be killed. Yes, that is true. But I have information that you'd want to know. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Okay? We won't go into this because it's kind of deep. But the fact of the matter is, yes, you're right, but not for the reasons you believe you are. I would love to defend the Bible. I love to do it, but that discussion is a lengthy one. Now, BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Ask me your questions. I'll respond. I really do. I enjoy responding. I enjoy defending the Bible. Apologetics is, I'm not really good at it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I really want to tell whoever wants to listen that there is a reason for the faith that I have. And you can have it too. Not in some sort of la-la land where you believe anything, but in some sort of spiritual metamorphosis that doesn't ignore your logic. It can be done, ladies and gents. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. And I can elaborate. Send me a message. So these state troopers, they came in and forcefully tamped down on these rabble-rousers. And now, in fairness to the position that the Gateway Pundit has, the usual suspects are probably behind these protests to some degree. And in Columbia University, it got out of hand. And the fact of the matter is, it was getting out of hand in certain places. So, yeah, if it's a safety issue, I mean, if there's bombs being thrown or Molotovs or whatever you want, whatever might be there, then that stuff needs to stop with a quickness, right? So I'm just pointing out that the Gateway Pundit really, really doesn't look at both sides of the situation. I try to. I really do. So I'm not for or against either one. Was it horrible? Was the attack in I believe it was October by Hamas on Israel horrible? Yes, it was. To be condemned? Absolutely, in every way. But I want to ask you something. I want to ask you all something. Anyone who pays attention, you must know that the best air defense can be found in Israel. It's called the Iron Dome. The very best intel agency, spy agency, if you will, is called Mossad, and it belongs to Israel. The very best civil defense force in the world is called the IDF, and it is the civil defense force of Israel. 3 of the best defensive guards against any type of incursion to the nation. The border of Israel is tighter than any border in any nation in this whole world. Now, we are expected to believe that guys, and we're told they're Hamas, evil bastards, hang glided into the nation that has the best defense, air defense, the best defense force and responsive force, and the best intel agency in the world, that happened for a sustained, I want to say, an hour or more, attacking women, children, communities, and no one responded? No one responded, and that wasn't by design. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wake up. Oh, Otter, you're talking conspiracy theory here, Otter. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, conspiracy theories are doing a hell of a lot better than your television. We're succeeding at a rate much greater than the jackasses in the mainstream media. And we're proud of it too. Just think about it for a second, ladies and gents. Look up what I'm telling you. Don't believe me. Is Mossad the best? Is the Iron Dome the best? Is the IDF the best? You be the judge. Now, if only 2 or 1 or maybe none, but I don't think you'll come to that conclusion. These 3 portions of an integrated border defense strategy were defeated for a long time. It's almost as unbelievable. It is, I think, just as unbelievable as 2 towers falling down at free fall speed into their own footprint equally. And then having one other tower fall, having not been hit by an airplane. That happened, 9/11. You believe that? You really believe that? Okay. I don't want to overburden this subject. So, we don't have a lot of time left. Got about 10 minutes. Any more comments, Mark? Anything that anybody wants to talk about in there?
No, I mean, just people saying that like you might be looking at your personal feed and broadcasting on Bitcoin Otter. That's the only thing.
Okay.
No, that was from Susan.
Okay, it's possible, or vice versa.
Right.
So okay, yeah. So that might be the case. Thank you, Sue. That's my sister. Everybody, you got website stuff? Hit me up. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. I'll hook you up with Sue, and she does great jobs on websites. Again, I have to say that it is my fault that the Bitcoin Otter website is not running as it should right now because I'm not giving her input. I'm too busy. I got a regular job, maybe an irregular job. Some of you know what I mean. But anyway, talk to her. She does a great job on websites. So here's the thing. As we close out this show, I want to just add this last story from, again, the Gateway Pundit. Joe Biden mulling granting amnesty to over 1 million illegal aliens by executive order ahead of the 2024 election. Now, this may or may not happen, right? I mean, we know Joe and his executive orders are normally not constitutionally sound. If you've examined them, then you know. They don't tend to follow rules. They don't tend to follow, well, those little things called laws. But he does them. You can argue that every other president has done it. You might be right. But this one is, of anything that he has done, one of the most expected things if he does it. Because the millions upon millions of aliens that have come in under his watch, or whoever's running it under his name, this is the reason why so many of these aliens are coming in, because it's going to, and probably already has, completely restructured our election system. Why? Well, if you get more and more people in a certain area, that area gets more and more representation. So these aliens in these purposely demarcated sanctuary cities, what they're doing is they're creating a district of very a high population in a district of people who are most likely going to vote for the people that broke the law to invite them in, which of course in this case is the Democrat Party. Now, I don't want anybody out there thinking I'm a Republican, because I think most Republicans are scumbags. I mean, these people are authors of some of the worst disasters that we can have, and one of them is Speaker of the House right now. But again, there's also nuances to that. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com, and I'll send you down that rabbit hole, which has me telling you that I believe that Mr. Johnson might just be playing an acting role in a movie. We're watching a movie, ladies and gentlemen. Now, where I'm going with this is, he may, meaning Grandpa Joe, he may grant them some sort of amnesty, right? And the ones that he's looking at right now for this executive order would be people that came in illegally but are married to United States citizens. So as they go forward with this, attempted complete takeover of the United States government, they will do worse and worse things, more and more unlawful things, and more ungodly things. So we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. Patriots are in control, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know where I get that statement from, if you want to know how I can believe these things, okay, I can get you that information at bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. But I can't tell you on Facebook. I can't tell you on YouTube, because they are definitely not America First. Okay? They are owned by the usual suspects. Who are those usual suspects? Email me, and I'll let you know who they are. At least in my opinion, my studied opinion. I've been looking at this stuff for, let's say, double-digit years, decades. So the fact of the matter is this: God wins. He does not lose. Let's choose his side to guarantee we win. Okay? Even if we don't always do what we know God wants us to do, we can ask for forgiveness. He is gracious. Without that grace, I wouldn't even be here. So, as we close out the show today, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you for participating. Thank you for please being who you are. You are valuable. You are priceless in the eyes of God. Why don't we treat each other that way? That's a great question. Maybe we ought to investigate that. But I think we're scratching the surface by blaming it on the usual suspects, who are the underlings of the big usual suspect, our enemy Satan. Oh, Otter, now you're getting into all this stuff. Yes, I am. You don't think these people joke around? These people are not doing this for kicks. They don't hurt these children just for the sake of it. They do it for a reason, and they have a lower power prodding them on. But we know the King of Kings, and Jesus Christ is coming back. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this. Tune in next week. Lord willing, we will have a great interview with Megan Walsh. You want to know more about it? You want to know maybe the bio? You want to know what we're going to talk about? BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Hit me up. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America.